Today I want to talk about the interesting new revolution and dynamic we have now with social media stars becoming just as famous, if not more famous, than regular A-list, B-list celebrities who came through the more traditional route of Hollywood and film and entertainment, music, TV. And I also want to touch on this fascinating discussion on where this will lead in the future and which companies might have huge opportunities and what strategies they could use to really capture this, because we are at a point where things could shift in an entirely new manner, and that could change the game. So first and foremost, I gotta give it up to people like Gary Vaynerchuk, who saw this coming before many others did. For over a decade, I think he's been saying that it's gonna flip upside down, where people who are self-made, average individuals off social media all of a sudden started building these massive followings and will one day turn that into the new norm. So that in order to stay relevant, whether you are from the traditional world or not, you need to get on social media to stay relevant. And that's what's happening now. A lot of celebrities from the old world are moving into the new world. The Rock's on TikTok and Instagram. He's now the most followed person on Instagram. Will Smith has been killing it on YouTube and TikTok. He's starting to wane a bit as Jason Derulo has become the king of TikTok. And all these other people are coming and going. Will Smith's definitely like staying on top of it. And all these things are happening to really change the game. And then you have all these new stars, many from TikTok, like Charli D'Amelio, who are just killing it right now and seen as more famous, more recognizable, more of a preference to meet than maybe some more general names from the old world of TV, film, and entertainment. Now here's the thing, both of these worlds still have strong fundamentals, and the old world still has a lot it has to offer. There's still a huge infrastructure there, and a lot of stars coming out of that world still self-made in their own way. It's a more traditional route, but one great example would be the cast of Walking Dead. I mean, that show is an incredible show, and it's really made a lot of stars from it. I'm a fan of the show, and a lot of those people, you didn't know who they were before that show happened. And through that traditional medium of Hollywood, they were able to make something out of themselves. AMC has been killing it in a way. Breaking Bad, another AMC network TV show, made a lot of stars. Jesse Pinkman, no one knew who that actor was before that show. And so there's that coming in. Both are generating things. Many are coming from here to there and there to here. And I think that's where the opportunity is. Because I think some of them are kind of in that middle ground. And some stars, I mean, there's the girl who plays Judith Grime on Walking Dead. She's like 9 years old. Incredible actor, incredible personality. She was also in Loki and Star Wars. I mean, what a resume already. One of my favorite actresses that are up and coming. And the thing is, now they're emerging into this new world at the age of 9. And if they go through the Hollywood route, usually what happens is they're very well versed in the ins and outs of that industry and infrastructure. But many of them, especially the older people, aren't really understanding or familiar with social media. So they don't do it really properly, or they just do like very, casual stuff on Instagram, nothing really like focused and intense. And they'll maybe post a picture here and there. And through that, just because of the fame that they've gained from that show, they still have a massive followings. The other end of it is a lot of these social media stars, they really know the ins and outs of social media and that infrastructure. So they know how to play the algorithm. They know how to really maximize the contrast, how frequently to post, what to evoke curiosity. And that's how they built their audience. But they are also really not plugged into the Hollywood world. In fact, you hear a lot of stories. I mean, Timothy Chantarangsu, someone I interviewed, he was formerly called Tim De La Ghetto, one of the first OG YouTube stars. he was on my podcast, and he's saying like he's been at this Hollywood game for over a decade, and he's just now getting some opportunities from there and really starting to kick the door in, even though he had this substantial YouTube following for such a long time. The world of Hollywood was slow in catching up to that. It's not just him. You have people like Lilly Singh, Superwoman, who came up later on in the YouTube game. But also, I read her book, and she was talking about how hard it was and how she was basically starting from scratch, despite her massive following on YouTube when trying to break into Hollywood. And at the time the book came out, she really only scored very small roles. I think she was a reporter. If everyone's seen Fahrenheit 451, the HBO film based off the book, I saw it, and I think she was in there for like 10 seconds as a reporter. And so she was talking about how she had to get humble again and basically just start from the bottom up in Hollywood, despite trying to position her following. So what I think the opportunity and the revolution is coming out is that these two worlds are trying to combine and move and shift. Especially the YouTube world. You got a lot of people in the entertainment world on YouTube. A lot of these user-generated people who want to be movie stars, want to get into film and television and all that stuff. RDC World, that whole team, incredible, is another example. But they can't get in because it's just blocked off or it's hard. And yet you have all these people who have shown their tremendous talent. And I think slowly the Hollywood world is opening up. The biggest example would be Lilly Singh. She got a talk show host deal with a major TV network, something never considered or fathomed. Now, it didn't do well. I don't think the show really did well, but that said, it was still a kick in the right direction. It was a very significant acknowledgement from the higher ups that, this social media game is bubbling up a lot of proven talent, incredible talent. And sure, it may not work out every single time, but some of these people will prove themselves in the whole Hollywood TV and film world when given a chance. And although there's a lot of mixing and mashing already with, BTS really making their fame off the viral videos and then leveraging that into talk shows and stuff, there's still a ways to go. So, that's the thing. How do these people break in? A lot of them have so much talent, and they are struggling, slowly moving in that direction. That's the big question, and I think that's the big opportunity. Some people are going to be ahead of the times. Maybe entire organizations will or will not. And they'll give these people a chance. And when they do, you're going to see some fireworks, in my opinion. You're going to see some really cool collaborations. People that you maybe grew up on YouTube, and then you're seeing them killing it in Hollywood. Unfortunately, for now, and maybe the next 5-10 years, instead you're seeing them killing it on YouTube or social media, and then getting very minuscule roles and opportunities to contribute in that world. So it's an interesting thing, but I think there's always a way, A lot of these people who came up the traditional route through Hollywood and so forth, many of them were self-made too. Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example. And so there's always a way to where you want to go. Sometimes it's more convoluted and tough, but there's always a way if you have a dream, a plan, and a purpose towards it. But this new environment, this new era we're in is very exciting, very fresh. May have some drawbacks, may have some negative parts, but will have some great parts as well. And I'm excited to see where it'll take us. I will say for sure, there's a lot of people that, YouTube in particular, but many social media platforms, have tapped into and drawn a lot of talent from, potential from, that may have never existed before. I think the biggest talent is really from YouTube. I mean, some of the people on TikTok, they do dances and they get millions of followers. Is that really translatable? I don't know. But, some other people, RDC World, they have video production skills. They have script writing skills. They have pop culture knowledge, comedic talent, comedic writing talent, acting talent. They have all this, they've combined it, and they've built a respectable following off of that. And here's the thing, I believe, before this time, before the last 30 years, that was a time where so many people in the world really never got a chance to express their potential. And I think that's happening across many sports, many industries still, but slowly through certain innovations, that's being unlocked. Think about it, RDC World, they had their own camera, and that was it. And they could upload off YouTube. Before the internet, they would have just been some friends in Texas that may have never been able to even tap into their potential. And who knows how many millions of people were in similar boats. And I will tell you, I think the entertainment industry, although it's developed so much, many of these industries really have never been able to tap in to the talent base that's out there as they have in modern times. Because think about it, some of these actors and actresses, they really only got their break, got their chance because of sometimes a little bit of luck, being in the right place and right time. Look at Mila Kunis, a fantastic actress, that 70s show star, one of my favorite shows. When you ask her, and she tells you in a Howard Stern interview, when you ask her how she got to where she was, she says, it was partially right place and right time. She wanted to be an actress, and she just so happened to walk past a place where she lived in, I think it was Beverly Hills, California, that was recruiting for actresses. So if it wasn't for that, if she lived in Montana, if she lived in India, who knows how her chances would have been different, how she would have never been able to tap into that potential. So really gets you thinking. I think maybe Netflix is the organization that has the most opportunity here, because they can really start to serve up and collab with these people and serve up those TV shows, films, in ways where these creators have more input than ever before, because they've always been innovating in the game. They've been loose with their rules and allowed that innovation. And I think they're already starting to do it. I know they had Lord Vader, another like anime gamer, do a few like TV show Netflix collabs, even though he's like a YouTuber. So it's coming. I think it's coming, but there needs to be some strategic effort to make that collab happen. And man, sometimes it's gonna flop, but sometimes the results are gonna be ridiculous. I mean, RDC World's the first person I can think of who needs that Netflix collab partnership. So thanks for watching. Very interesting conversations and topics. Like and subscribe.